Okay, it's 10:05 already. Once again, welcome to another class, in the Enoch Org Tech classes. Trust you've been enjoying the previous classes, and um I hope and I'm sure that today's class will not be anything less anything lesser than the previous classes. All right. So okay, I hope you can hear me clearly now. So today we'll be talking about data cleaning using Microsoft Excel. Yeah, I'm sure we've heard of data cleaning before. This is not the first time. And I remember particularly in one of the classes we had, someone asked that what is data cleaning? So can anyone just tell me what he or she knows about data cleaning? What do you think data cleaning is? Data cleaning. Anyone before I mention. Okay, please, are we together now? Are we together?
Yes, we are still there.
Okay. All right. So can anyone just tell me what data cleaning is? Just you can type, you can unmute your mic. Okay. I think I should call name. You can just give any lay explanation for it. Okay, John Deuce, please can we hear from you? What do you think data cleaning is?
Yeah, so
Yeah? Please, what is
yeah, I think please.
okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, Sulaimon,
Yeah, I
data
said
cleaning is the process of correcting
okay.
inaccurate or irrelevant records of data. Yeah, you are very correct. Thank you very much. So I'm with you, John Does.
Oh, yeah, I said like from the words, I think I would like assume that it just means clearing up data, taking off like what is unwanted
Okay,
or not desired and like arranging it if it's like scattered.
okay,
So like preparing to like become like useful information or something.
okay. So you are very right, actually. You are very right too. So thank you very much, Sulaimon, and thank you very much, John. So you are all correct. So let's start. My definition here is that data cleaning is the process of identifying, correcting, and transforming errors, inconsistencies, and inaccuracies in data to improve its quality, reliability, and usage for analysis and decision making. What all this story? What the story that I just said actually means that data cleaning. Okay, I think people are joining now. All right. Okay. So data cleaning is basically a process of identifying. The first thing you do is to identify, like, okay, errors and all, but the first thing you do is to identify the errors, the inconsistencies and inaccuracies, right? Data cleaning is basically the process of you first identify them. Okay, this thing is wrong, this thing is not right, you get. And when you identify it, then you correct whatever error it's whatever error is there, right? And then you transform your errors. You either you want to maybe delete it or something. You find a way to fix it. So what are the things that you actually identify, correct, and transform? They are inconsistencies, right? You know, I said something when we were dealing with in the first class I had. I said something like there are some times that you can have your dates, some most times date is always it in day slash month slash year. right? So you can have a particular data set that you're working with, and you are seeing something like maybe the first one is in that format, and then along the line they are not following the same format. When you are doing your data cleaning, you make sure that all inconsistencies, they are you make them consistent, right? You change everything that is not consistent, you turn them back to you will just put everything in one particular form, because if there are inconsistencies, Excel might not be able to read the data set very well. Excel might not read it because it might see it as those ones that are not in the same format, right? Excel will just maybe see it as an error, or it will see it as something else entirely. So when we are doing data cleaning, we are transforming inconsistencies, right? Then errors too. There are sometimes that there are errors in your data, like missing values. You cannot work with missing values because they are missing. There's nothing to work on. So when you are cleaning your data, you are going to work on them missing values too. Inaccuracies, there are some data sets, that there are some data that you are using that are actually inaccurate, that are not accurate. So you when you are cleaning your data, the process of data cleaning, you are working on this and then you are making them accurate, or maybe you delete it. So the end goal of this is just to improve the quality of the data, right? In the sense that the data you are using is going to give you the best, the analysis you are doing with the data set, it will give you the best results. So it will increase the quality of your data, then it will increase the reliability, in the sense that you'll be very sure of your analysis, that yes, what I'm doing is very right. I'm not doing the wrong thing. Because if you are working with data that is not clean, you can't be so sure. You cannot rely on your results. And then it is very good for your analysis, yeah, and decision making. So importance of data cleaning. Okay, I think I should share my screen now. All right, so let me know if you can see my screen. All right, so can you see my screen? I think someone already sent thumbs up.
I can see your screen.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so moving on, importance of data cleaning. Data cleaning is actually very, very important. So I already said some. So can anyone I just need someone to tell me just one thing, one reason why you feel data cleaning is important. Anyone? Anyone?
Somewhat consistently the data.
Okay, okay, that's very good. Okay, so moving on, the first importance is that data cleaning ensures reliable analysis and information and decision making. Yes, because I already explained it when I was explaining what data cleaning is. If you are working with a data set and your client or you get a data set from any source, right? And you are doing your analysis without cleaning your data, you can't be too sure that your analysis is correct. And I can assure you that you can't be too sure. It is a 90% thing, in the sense that your analysis might and might not be wrong, in the sense that the data you are using, what if there are errors there? What if the formats are not even consistent? What if the text values, the numeric values that are there, what if Excel is seeing it as text? So all those things you did not check, and then you just rushed to your analysis. Your analysis will most likely be wrong, right? And it won't be reliable. So data cleaning, it ensures that your analysis is reliable, and also your decision making is reliable. Because as a data analyst, a lot of if you are working for a company or for an industry, they actually depend on you to make decisions, right? And if you are using a data set that is not that is dirty, if you are using a data set that is not clean, because any data set that is not clean is dirty. So if you are using dirty data sets, you'll be getting wrong analysis, and it is through analysis that they will get insights from which they will make decisions. So if the analysis is if the data set is not clean, is dirty, you'll be getting wrong analysis. And if your analysis is wrong, obviously they will get wrong insights. And if the insights are wrong, they will make wrong decisions, and this can actually be very costly. It can be very, very costly. So data analysis helps, it ensures that your analysis is reliable, and therefore any decision you make from that is reliable too. Let me give an example. Let's assume you are working with a data set and there are duplicates, right? Or maybe you want to know how many children how many children from how many children do something, maybe how many children are not educated, right? And you're working with a data set that is maybe 1,000 columns, and ideally you are meant to get maybe 10% or 20% or even 30%. Let's assume you are meant to get 30% of the maybe respondents are not educated, and your data is dirty in the sense that there are a lot of duplicates. Those that are not educated, let's assume most of them, maybe because they are not educated or something, you have duplicates, right? Maybe each of them, they like, okay, I want to fill this form more than once and all. So you have, out of 1,000, they are meant to be 300, but then the duplicates duplicate everything, they are 400. If you actually don't detect those duplicates by those people, you get a wrong analysis, and then you might end up getting 40% instead of 30%. And let's assume they want to use it for something, they want to use it to prepare maybe incentives for some people or so. They are going to be they will overspend in that case. So that's one of the importance of data cleaning. Another one, so the second importance of data cleaning is that it prevents errors in and inaccuracies in reporting, right? So when your data is clean, there'll be no errors, or there'll be minimal errors and inaccuracies when you're reporting, because when you've done your analysis, the next thing you do is, the end goal of it is to report your findings to your stakeholders, right? So when your data is clean, you see that when your data is dirty, you find out that there will be errors in your reporting. Like, imagine you are trying to maybe report something to a big industry, and then you did not remove the missing data, or you did not do something to the missing values, right? And you're reporting, you see that the if you're using Excel now, Excel will show it that, okay, these are the number of blanks, whereas they might not actually be interested. That shows that maybe you're not doing your thing right. You get? So you should ensure that you clean your data, because if you are reporting a dirty data, you're going to find out that when you are reporting, there will be errors and then there will be inaccuracies. So the third importance I'll mention is that data cleaning maintains data integrity. Yes, it maintains data integrity in the sense that you are very confident that, okay, yes, what I'm doing is right. Data integrity is basically like a okay, it's basically a way to show that, okay, what the data you are using is actually very correct, right? It's just is a term we use to show how correct, how reliable your data is, how accurate, how complete, and how consistent your data set, the data set you are using is. So when you are using a clean data, you are very sure that, okay, this thing, this you are very sure that, okay, data integrity is actually maintained. Yeah. And then the last thing I will talk about is that it lowers the risk of costly mistakes. Because when you're working with a clean data set, the risk that you make costly mistake is actually lowered to a very bare minimum. But when you're working with a data set that is not clean, you find out that you can make mistakes, like you will make mistakes actually. And you not will well, most likely 95% of the time you will make costly mistakes, in the sense that you are doing a wrong analysis, you get wrong insights, and with the wrong insights you use it to make wrong decisions. So basically, data cleaning is very essential, is important for reliable insight, for maximized operations, and for informed decision making, right decision making. Okay, so let's start. Let's get into work. I hope we've all loaded the data set. So let's clean this data set. The very first thing you will do when you want to clean this kind of when you want to clean data when you are working with data is inspection. Data inspection, right? Data inspection. You first inspect your data. You look at it. You just check to have an overview of it. There's something we call metadata. Metadata. This data set actually has metadata. Metadata is just a most times you find your data and your metadata together. It's just it can be file. Most times it's not always in Excel spreadsheet format. It's just for you to it explains what the data is. The metadata for this one now, it shows that okay, this passenger ID talks about this survived talks about okay, maybe the person survived or not. Zero is for died, one is for survived. It talks about what's this data set. Okay, you can't hear me. Sorry, please. Is it everyone? Can anyone else hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Zainab, are we on the same page now? You can hear me. Okay. Okay. Sophiat, are we on the same page? Okay, I've not seen a response, but I don't know. Let me assume she can hear me. All right. So the first thing is to inspect your data. All right. Okay. Thank you. Is to inspect your data. You just check through. You look through. Then ideally, you should actually have an idea of what your data set is about, right? So when you inspect your data, let's just check. And one thing, convert your data into table. Can I explain the metadata? Okay. Metadata is basically it can be a file, right? That talks about that talks about what your data set is about. So the metadata for this, I will check and send it because I don't want to start. I'm not exactly sure where it is, right? So I will check for it and send it to the group. Metadata just tells us, it gives us an idea, an overview of what the data is talking about, right? So for this one, it tells us that okay, this passenger ID is the ID of the maybe passenger, or okay, maybe the specific number given to the passenger. It tells us what the metadata for this particular one, then tells us what this survived column is for. Okay, the survived column, it tells us whether the person died or the person survived, and then 0 stands for died, one stands for survived. All these things, they're actually in the metadata, because if you get a data like this, you might not actually be able to like understand it very well. But with the metadata, it will tell you that okay, this is what this column is signifying. Then this P class means maybe pass it will in the metadata, it shows that okay, it is there that P class means passenger class, right? The class of the passenger, maybe class, the first class, second class, or third class. Then this name signifies the name of the person. This sex is the either male or female. This age is the person in years. If it is in months, it will be there in the metadata, right? Then in the metadata, it's actually there because this SIBSP, ideally you will not know what it is about. You will not know what it is. So the metadata will tell you that okay, this SIBSP means the number of siblings and spouse, right? Then PRCH means the number of parents and children. This ticket, so this is our data set, but the metadata gives us more insight to what the data is talking about, and each columns what they signify. This ticket is just the ticket number or so. Then this fare is the amount they paid, right? So this cabin, this embarked S can either be there are three this S signifies something, C signifies something, and Q signifies something. So it is in our metadata that we get to know all those things. I hope we're on the same page. You understand? Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So I think we can move on. So I said something that the best thing to do is to convert your data into table. So can anyone tell me how to convert your data into table? Anyone? Just let me know, because I think I've said this twice, right? So let me know if
Yes, we said we first aligned everything with control A, then we click on control C, which is the shortcut.
okay, thank you very much, Ahmed. Thank you very much. That's very correct. So to convert your data into table, you highlight everything, right, using control A, then go with your control T, and then where is the data set, blah blah blah, my table has headers, very true, then okay. Thank you very much. Okay, so moving on, let's now inspect the data. Let's inspect our data set. So this passenger ID, let's look through. You can just click on this filter button beside, because okay, just click on it, then check through. This is 1, 2, 3. Okay, it is going in progression, it's going in progression, it's going in progression. So the last thing here is 891. 891. That's the last thing there. So I think we are right, in the sense that everything is going in progressions, right? So you feel this data is not looking wrong, because can you see 519, 520, and then to this 891. So if you see any value, that maybe you now find one value there that is one, maybe 10,000 or 10 or 20,000, you know that this one is wrong. Maybe the issue is from where, maybe the issue is the person did not give the right number, right? Or maybe when you were typing it or something. So that's something we call outlier, right? Outliers are outliers are inputs that do not correlate, that are not consistent with the data set you are using. Like now, this one, if you have something like 20,000, is an outlier, and we know that is obviously an error. Do we get? So we've checked through this. Let's check through survived 0101. You can see that there are no blanks there. Okay, P class 1, 2, and 3. You can see from this place we know what is in the data, right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the name, you might not need the name, because, well, then the sex, we have male and female, male female. If you have something else apart from this male and female here, you know that that's an error, right? But this one is male and female. So let's check the age. We have 0.42, 0.67. This might actually not be an error, and it's not an error because they converted the person's age. The person is not up to 1 year. So they just found the month, they converted it to years and in decimal points, right? So let's just check through. Okay, it's going in progression, and then we have 80. This data set looks correct, but there is something, we have blanks here. That means they are missing values, right? So let's unselect all and select only blanks. So you can see that, see, we have 177. Can you see it here? This place, this little place beside ready, 177 of 891 records, right? So 177 people did not fill their age. Okay, so let's select everything back. So we are just trying to do this to have an overview, right? Then SIBSP, okay, 01234. Okay, this is fair. Then PARCH, can see everything. There are no blanks here too. Okay, tickets. Okay, we really don't have business with this. We really don't have business with this. Then fair, the amount they paid, zero. Okay, okay. This person that paid zero, it looks suspicious, but then we are going to use it like that. All right, because maybe the person is close to the pilot or close to the owner of the ship or something. We cannot just jump into the conclusion that it is wrong. All right, so it is going in progression till this 512.39 blah blah blah. Well. It looks suspicious, but then we are going to use it like that, because if you are working for a company or so, or you are directly reporting to someone, if you have something that is looking like this, you can actually report to the person that okay, I saw this. Should I go on? Is it an error? That's if you don't know, if you are not sure it's an error, right? But let's leave it since it is the amount they paid. Maybe these ones have money and they took the most special part of the Titanic ship. Okay, then this cabin, there are a lot of blanks there, but then we might not be using it for our analysis. If we want to analyze this data set, we will most likely not use it. So let's check this embarked to SCQ. Then let's check for how many blanks we have. Okay, we have just two, right? Okay, so now what we've done is just that we we inspected the data just to like have an overview, right? We through that we've known the data, we've known that there are some missing values, we've checked through and we've checked that okay, the formats are not actually inconsistent, because when we check the passenger ID, they are following the same format except this one and this cabin, which most likely we don't need. And then this cabin, the format might not be consistent because I mean that's I think it's even consistent. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Then but these tickets we actually don't know, because that might be the tickets number they gave them, right? Okay, so we've checked, we've seen that okay, it is consistent. And then yes, the next thing you now do is to check for duplicates. Check for duplicates, because your data set must not be duplicated. It must not You must not have duplicates in your data set. So let's go to check for duplicates. You go to your data tab, and then under this data tools, right, check for duplicate is there, remove duplicate is there. It's You see it's like they put two columns together, one beside the other. So just click on it, remove duplicate, then it has automatically selected everything. It is For this actually it's advisable to select everything, because if you have a particular row or two rows that have everything, all the columns, all the columns have the same inputs or values, you know that okay, this is a duplicate, right? And then another thing you can do is that you can select only passenger ID. One person cannot have abi two people cannot have one passenger ID, but then it is more advisable for you to use everything, for everything to be selected. So okay, then it said no duplicates found. If they are actually duplicates, Excel will remove it, will tell you that okay, these are the amount of duplicates we have, and then should I remove it? Then go to okay, then it will remove the duplicate. So that's it. So another thing you do is that you check for duplicates, you remove your duplicates. So by this we are very sure that each input we have, if each input we have is actually unique, is unique to the person, is unique in the sense that no two people have one, no one person does not have two inputs. Okay, the next thing we want to work on now is handling missing data, right? We have missing data. Let's start. So it is when you are working with numerical or numeric data. I talked about this that when we are doing introduction to data and data type. Numeric data or quantitative data, when you want to fill them, you actually fill them with either the average or the median, right? You either use the average or the median of the data set. I I I prefer to use the median. Median is actually quite preferable, but you can use the average, you can use the median. Median is also the mean, right? So okay, that's for numeric. But if it is non-numeric, if it is categorical, if you want to fill it up, right? If you are not deleting it, you fill it with the mode. You fill it with the mode in the sense that okay, you check for the one that is most, that comes up most, right? There are different ways to do this. You can use pivot table. You can use pivot table, but I won't want to go into pivot table now. Let's just do something. Let's check for everything individually. Okay, so let's check for only C. Let's check how many. C is 168. Okay, then Q alone is 77. So obviously it should be S. So S is 644. So the mode means the input that comes up more frequently, right? Is S. So if you have any data, any missing data, let's fill it up. Unselect everything, then select only blanks, then fill it up with S. Yeah, so we are good to go with this particular one. So let's select all. Can you see that there are no blanks here? Okay. Then age, we know that our age has comma. It has it has um it has a lot of missing values, right? Okay. So we can see here. So let's just fill it up with the let's use the average now, right? Okay, the average here, because the average is easily accessible. That's 29.69. That should be 30. Okay. I am sure we've not forgotten about the status bar. This is our status bar. So instead of using your function, we can actually use your function that's equals to average. Then you get your answer. Or if it is your mean, your median, you can use your function to get your median, right? So you can always do that, but then because of time, you can always use your median. And when you are doing this on your own, please use the median. All right. So we can see that from here, when you select everything, you're going to see that okay, the count we have is 715. That's because they are missing values, right? So the average here is 29.69. We are going to use 30, right? Okay, so let's select only the missing values, right? Unselect all, then select only this. There are different ways to do this actually. Let me explain this, then I will explain Control H. Okay, let me unselect all, then select only blanks, then okay. Then I'll write 30. So you can just copy this, Control C, then select everything down here. Okay, or can actually do this, just drag it down. Okay, should fill it this way, or let's just click on this shift. Okay, this is not copied. Control C, then this shift windows down, then Control V. So you can see that we copied it and then we pasted everything here. So this is a way you can do this. Let me just Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. All right, so another way you can do this is select everything, right? Windows shift down. Okay, doing this will not be easy because the thing is going to stop at every blockage, like every place um that has issues, right? Every place that has missing values is going to stop. So it can give you issues, but then let me just work with this one to this place. So assuming we selected everything, so you just when you select, let's assume you are selecting everything, right? You're going to go back to use the first method. So you just use your Control H. Control H is just find and replace. So find what, replace with what. So this thing, there is nothing there. So let's leave it empty. So replace with 30, then replace all. So you can see that we've made 4 replacements. From the ones we selected, there were only 4 missing values, right? Okay. All right. So let's just use the first approach. Okay, the reason why we cannot just select everything like this is because if we do that, everything and the data sets that you need, the ones you don't need, can you see that everything will be selected here? So I would have said we should just select everything like that, like select it using this and then use Control H, but it won't work because we have everything like 100,000 or 1 million rows. That would be 30. So let's just use our filter button. Let's just select only the blanks and use 30 each. C. Okay. Then Control C, Control V. All right. So we are good to go. So we can see that there will be no blanks here again. So no blanks. Let's now select everything. Select all. Then okay. Okay, so the assignment is, I'll give an assignment. When you are doing your own, just fill it with the median, right? Use the function to get your median. All right. So that's it. So for an overview now, for categorical data, right? What do we use to fill missing values? Is it mean, median, or mode? Anyone? Time is running. For categorical data, right? What do we use to fill missing values? If you will fill it, there are sometimes that you actually don't fill missing values. There are sometimes that you remove it. There are sometimes that you filter it out. But most times when you fill it, right? Most times you fill it. When you're working for there are some people that actually don't need you to fill in missing values because we don't know, we can't say, right? So anyone for categorical data set, what do we do to the missing values? What do we use to fill it? Anyone, before I call anyone's name, okay, categorical. Okay, Nofisat said mode, Ahmed said median. Okay, Nofisat, you are very right. We use median for categorical. Ahmed, we use median for numeric, either median or mode, median or mean or average, any one of them, either median, that's for numbers. But when it is not numeric, right, you use the mode, that's the one that has the highest frequency. Thank you very much, Suliyat. I hope I got that right, or Sulaimon. Okay, the next thing we'll do is we'll correct our data type, right? So let's check. We are going to find that in the home tab. You can see that this is general. Well, let's change it to number. Okay, and this number is not given, right? So let's just remove everything. And okay, one other thing we can do is that we can check through is that if you want to know if this data set is really in number format, right? If it is numeric, the input, it will go from right to left. Can you see that this one is tilted to the right, but this one, all these ones now, let's increase the width, is tilted to the, okay, someone saying anything? All right, so if you have numeric data, right, or numeric input, it's always tilted to the right. Can you see that this 3 is starting from this right and there are spaces here, but this one is tilted to the left, like it's coming like this, it's coming this way, the alignment is to the left, right? So that's how you can be sure that okay, this is Excel is reading this as a numeric data or as a text or something else. Okay, so in that way, if you convert, if Excel wants to read this, the fact that it's in general, it will still read it as numeric. But then let's change everything to number. Okay, they are all in number. Wow. Okay, so okay, no, they are not all in number because one is in number. All right, so let's convert. Let's remove the decimal point. Same thing, age, SIBSP, PRCH. Let's just convert it to number. And then if you want it to have decimal points, okay, we don't want decimal. So like this, as we've rounded it off, this age, the ones that are 0 point something, they will only show as 0, right? Okay, but let's exempt the age. Let's exempt the age. Let's just, okay. No, we're not doing, let's just leave everything as, if you are 0, let it show 0. Okay, so that's for the correction of data type, right? Then another thing you do is you can use find and replace, right? For this SCQ, S actually means something, Q actually means something, and C actually means something. You can decide that you want to write this in full. So this S is Southampton. I don't know if I'm right with the pronunciation, but this is it. Okay, Amid, you're asking a question. Yes, but then it is more advisable to convert it to number. It's more advisable to convert it to number data type, right? Okay, South Ampton. Then the Q is Q Queenstown. Then the okay, I actually don't think I want this to be with the table. All right, so let me just bring it somewhere here. Okay, so S is South, then Q is Queenstown, then C is Cherboug. That's what these values actually mean, right? So let's replace it. We can use Control H, that's find and replace. So let's just select everything here, then Control H. So find S and then replace it with Southampton. Let me just copy it from here, Control C, then Control V, right? So replace all. So we are using our wow. Okay. This was actually the reason why it showed that way. Was it showed like everything else in the data set, it converted it to Southampton. Let's just highlight only this, or better still, shift windows down, then Control H, then Control H. You can also find it here in okay, let's just go with our Control H. Okay, then replace all. Right. Okay, so we've made 646 replacements. So we should do the same for the C and Q, right? Okay, so let's go with our Control H again. Then C, let's replace it with Cherboug. Okay, so replace all 186. Okay, that's fair. Then Q, okay, Q, then Queenstown. All right, so replace all. We've made 77 replacements. So yeah, that's how it is. Then there is okay, find and replace is actually in our home tab, right? So this is it here. Maybe because my screen is packed together. So it's in your editing. When you check your home tab, this is it. This is the ribbon here. This find and select. So you can just use find, replace, blah 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 blah. Do we get? Okay, Nofisat, you are raising your hand.
It was a mistake, ma.
Okay, where?
The
Okay.
hand raising was a
Oh,
mistake.
okay, I get you. All right, we should be fast. All right, so spell check too. We have spell check. You can actually check you can check whether your input is right and all. This is it here, spelling and all. So yeah, there's something called data validation too. Data validation basically is like, okay, this data is valid if it is in this format. It is here. Okay, our data validation is under our data tab, right? Let me make this thing bold. Okay, you can see it here. Let's return it back. So this is our data validation, right? So okay, in case you can't find it, make your screen bold in case if it is half, and then if not, just find it. It's under data tools. So you just click on it. Let's just validate. Let's say this embarked now. Let's select everything here. Or yes, let's select this column. Then go to data validation. It should allow, okay, any value. Okay. Mm, allow a list, yes, a list between, okay, source. Let's just say we want this and let's just use numeric for it first. Let's start with numeric. For age now, right? Let's use our data validation. It should allow any whole number, yes, that is between maybe 0 and 80 and 80. Okay, then apply. So in this way, if you want to impute any other thing, okay, control down. If you want to impute something else that is not, let's say 200, can you see that it is not going to accept it? Why? Because we've set our data validation that okay, it should either be it should be between 0 to 80, right? So it said this value does not match. There's one other thing in data validation. Okay, data validation. Yes, and then you can input a message. Let's say the title of the message is maybe error. Error. Then okay, error alert. Okay, she used this. I think this icon is okay. Let's use warning, right? Okay, then input message. Let's say the input is invalid. Okay. All right. So let's just, can you see when I wrote 200, it's brought out error, the input is invalid. Okay, let's put 200. Okay, the input is invalid, right? Okay, so that's how data validation works. And yes, that's it about. Let's clear everything. Okay. Then another thing is I'm looking at the time. Standardizing formats. Yes, because this one works for text, right? There are sometimes that you have extra spaces. You use your trim function to use your trim function to remove extra spaces, right? Then if these ones are in lower cases or upper cases too, you use proper case, and then if you want it in all capital letter, use your standard, use your upper, right? If you want it in all capital letter, use upper. If you want it in all small letter, use your lower. And yes, so that's it for the that's it for standardizing. Then you can also split columns too, right? For this one, you can split column using text to column. Let's just split it. So next, when you click on text to column, it will bring this. Click on delimited. Then next, what do you want it to split? Okay, if there is a comma, when there is a comma, you should split it. Can you see that these ones that have comma, it splitted them into different columns, right? So next, so that's it. This one might not be able to proceed. You might not be able to proceed with this because you should have created a new column. Let's create a new column here. Insert, and then let's work with our text to column. So it won't, because the reason why that one did not work was that the column beside it, there's something there. So we don't want it to displace it. So text to column, then next, comma, yes, next, then finish. There's a data here. There is actually no data there. So okay, can see that this splitted our data sets. It splitted the two it splitted the one data set into two. So yeah, so that's it about. And in data cleaning too, any column you don't need, you delete. So this is why it's preferable to have a duplicate whenever you are working with your data set, whenever you are cleaning your data. Please, whenever you even want to do anything, make sure you have a duplicate, because you can decide to you might want to need data sets that you've cleaned. Like now, some of them that are 30 or that are blanks, maybe they later told you, okay, oh, this person is actually 85 years old, and you don't have a duplicate. You are going to be very it will pain you, because I don't think you might not be able to recover that one back. You might have to be checking it maybe manually or something. So it's always advisable to have a duplicate. If you don't have a duplicate, you might not know what you should like change. Do you get? So yes, any data set, that's why you can comfortably and you can conveniently delete, right? Because you know that you have a duplicate somewhere. So you can just delete, or you can hide it, right? Let's hide this one, then let's hide this one too, because we might not need it. Cabin, we don't need it. Hide or delete anyone. Okay, tickets too, we most likely don't need it. So let's just hide. Or you can decide to delete anyone. So with this, I think to a very good extent our data is clean, and then you can use it for analysis, right? Okay. So does anyone have questions for me? Our time is actually up, but then we started late. Does anyone have questions for me? If you have a question, let me just hold on, because someone might be typing.